Let's talk menstrual cycle charting, but as a form of self-care rather than a form of birth control, which it can also be used for. Charting your menstrual cycle as a form of self-care is simply understanding where you are in the cycle on any given day and having compassion for yourself exactly where you are. Which means understanding that we are not supposed to always be these social butterflies. We go through ebbs and flows in our cycle, and that attributes to how outwardly focused we are versus how inwardly focused we can become. And also holding the space for ourselves to be that way when society doesn't hold that space for us. Society loves us in our ovulation phase because this is the phase where we literally are superwoman. We say yes to everything. We are social butterflies. We are at the top of our game. We are at our peak sexiness. And we can basically do it all. But in the other phases of our cycle, not so much. And that's okay. In our luteal phase, which is our phase right after ovulation and all the way until our next period, this is a phase of self-reflection, where we start to become more inwardly focused versus outwardly focused. This is also the phase that is associated with PMS. This is sometimes the phase in our cycle when we can realize that we may have said yes to too many things in our ovulation phase. A couple years ago, I had a friend invite me to a party, and it was well in advance, but I had started charting my cycle. And so I knew that my period would be coming on the day that the party was supposed to be. So I let my friend know, hey, I'm gonna be on my period at that time. I probably won't be able to make it. I planned in advance for myself because I knew that once I got to that party, if I was on my period, I wouldn't have as fun of a time as I would if I wasn't on my period. Charting your menstrual cycle for self-care can also help you to plan ahead for things like that, and can help you to see clearly in your ovulation phase when you want to say yes to everything, that saying yes to some things might not be the best option later on in the cycle. If you're someone who doesn't know when your period is going to come, like ever, cycle charting would be an amazing tool for you, because periods don't have to be unpredictable. They can absolutely be predictable. I know the day before my period will be here every single cycle because I chart my cervical mucus and my basal body temperature. And I haven't had an unpredictable period in like 3 years. Menstrual cycle charting is a tool that can be used in whatever phase of life you're in and whatever part of your journey you may be on.